When it comes to great first-class rail products, the Slovak railways probably isn't what comes to mind. Sure, they might not offer massive reclining seats or world-class onboard dining like some other operators. But when it comes to regular first-class train travel, why is nobody talking about these incredible domestically manufactured first-class carriages? Join me on the 5-hour journey from Kosice, past the Tatran Mountains, to the nation's capital Bratislava, as I show you the onboard facilities of this express train, including the new first-class carriage that might just be among Europe's best. Welcome to Kosice railway station, located just on the edge of the city center that otherwise can be conveniently accessed by tram connection. The railway station here opened all the way back in 1860, but most of today's main building is a modern addition from 2016 where the station went through a large overhaul. During this renovation, a new large ticket office was added, along with a shopping center spanning 3 floors. Although up here on the 3rd floor, this station was a bit empty. Overall, it's a pretty serviceable station. Nothing too remarkable, but it does the job. As our train to Bratislava hasn't got a platform yet, let's just go explore the platforms and see what kind of trains are around. Access to all platforms are via the underpass, and down here there's even a few more shops. I wasn't expecting to read a sign in Danish so far away from my home country, but hey, go Denmark! At the time of filming, the platforms were undergoing renovation works, meaning some of them were closed and had temporary access ways. But once the project is completed, it should improve access to all the platforms. The station is a major hub for both long-distance and regional services, many of which are still operated using locomotives and carriages, meaning lots of shunting is always going on. The station also sees quite a lot of international train traffic, with this little rail bus heading for Chop and Mukachevo over in Ukraine. Direct service is also offered roughly every 2 hours towards Miskolc and Budapest over in Hungary. But by far the biggest international destination is the historic link to the Czech capital Prague, served by multiple trains both during the day and night. And the station, of course, is also home to many pigeons. And as a professional train traveler, I had a hunch that the long rake of carriages parked on platform number 1 would eventually become our train to Bratislava. The train will have a total of 10 carriages, 7 of these being a mix of all sorts of newer and older second-class carriages with and without compartments. The 3rd carriage from the front is the dining car. This one in particular is one of the newer ones that was heavily overhauled in 2021. At the front we have 2 first-class carriages, with this one being one of the older ones with classic 6-seater compartments. However, that's not the carriage we're interested in today. Sitting at the front is the new first-class carriage, fully built by Vrutky here in Slovakia. A total of 7 carriages was built, entering service from 2020. And while they might not look too different from the outside, it is in the interior these carriages really shine. We'll board in just a moment, but first our locomotive hauling us to Bratislava is arriving. This is a Siemens Vectron locomotive, delivered brand new to the Slovak railways in 2017. While technically capable of 200 km per hour, we will be limited to 160 today. Right, let's head on board and let me show you what these carriages are all about. My first impression is that these look amazing. The leather seat aesthetic reminds me a lot of first class on many German ICE trains, which is very positive. For my trip today, I have reserved seat number 22. Having settled in my seat, we depart Kosice on time at 13:07. Leaving the station, we pass through the carriage depot, where many carriages are awaiting their next duties. But once the yard has been cleared, we can begin to accelerate and start our journey out towards the capital. So let's take a closer look at the route map for today's journey. Express train 608 leaves from Kosice, making select stops at 15 intermediate stations before we will arrive into Bratislava's main station. This is a distance of 442 kilometers, scheduled to take 5 hours 26 minutes, giving the train an average speed of 81 kilometers per hour. Not long after departure, the complimentary service in first class starts. It's just a complimentary bottle of water, which is a nice gesture, and I love how they have branded it Vlakva, a clever play on the Slovak word vlak, meaning train, and aqua. About 12 minutes after departure, we make our first station stop in Kysak, and here things got interesting. Our train is only scheduled to stop here for 2 minutes, but those minutes quickly passed and there was no sign of movement. Our delay just kept increasing, so I went off to try and investigate. There wasn't much going on here, with all the signals up ahead showing red. So it looks like we're gonna be here for quite some time. Some 25 minutes later, we finally see some movement, with a freight train going in the opposite direction, passing through the station. And a few minutes after that, a local train appears, with a stopping service bound for Kosice. And finally, after a delay of 30 minutes, we are off again. I'm not entirely sure what happened. My best bet is some sort of issue requiring the line ahead to be single-tracked, meaning we had to wait for trains coming in the opposite direction, or some sort of signal failure that severely restricted how many trains could move in the area at once. With beautiful scenery like this, that's only going to get better as our trip progresses, you ideally want to spend your journey in a comfortable seat. And these seats definitely delivers on that. First of all, I think the combination of the leather-like material and the orange headrest really makes them look great. The seats offer a good amount of recline, controlled by the lever found just under the seat itself. At the airline-style seats, you will find a large tray table that is very sturdy. The seat also features a storage pocket, as well as a footrest and ample legroom. At the table seats, you'll find a table in this nice wooden finish, which also folds out to create an even larger surface. By the seat space is where you'll find one USB-A port as well as a power outlet. The headrest cushion is soft and comfortable, and I personally find the seat strikes a great balance between padding and support, offering comfortable positions both for working but also lounging back and relaxing. I know there will be some people in the comments, "Oh, they don't make train carriages like they used to, this is so much worse than the old compartments." Sorry, but I just don't miss being stuck in a middle seat inside a small enclosed space with 5 strangers. Sure, the seats in compartments usually were better for just sitting, but I find the modern open carriages strikes a much better balance of catering at least a little bit to every type of traveler. The seats can still be reclined, offering a comfortable position to relax. Families can enjoy their own space around a table for 4. The laptop workers get a proper table and a seat that offers decent working positions. But hey, at least on this Slovak train, you have both, which is the best solution, because then everybody is happy. We'll take a closer look at the rest of the train a bit later in the video, but now we are approaching Poprad, gateway to the Tatras. And on the approach to the station, we get our first glimpse of the High Tatras, the tallest mountain chain in all of Slovakia. Poprad offers connections to the Tatra electric railway, which is a network of narrow gauge lines running into the mountains. We depart Poprad, running about 20 minutes late thanks to the earlier issues on our journey. And before the best scenery of the journey starts in just a couple of minutes, let's quickly go have a look at the rest of the train's interior. We'll start here, all the way at the front, by the Vectron locomotive pulling our train. This is the first class carriage. As you can see, it's also fitted with modern electronic route information displays, but unfortunately this doesn't seem to be updated with live delay information. Next to it is one of the first class toilets. As you expect from a fairly new carriage, it's in pretty good order. It's clean, stocked with plenty of toilet paper, working soap and water. So it gets a thumbs up from me. Continuing into the first class carriage, you will find the seats in an expected 2+1 layout, mostly arranged around a table. I also like the choice to put a half divider in the middle of the carriage. This should also help a bit with noise when the train is busy. Close to the vestibule you will find some airline style seats as well as luggage racks. Next up we have the much older first class carriage. This one features compartments with 6 seats in each. Next up we have the refurbished dining car, which features seats very similar to those found in standard class on many newer Slovak trains. I'm not sure I like this choice. I'd be worried it makes it seem like it's okay to just sit here, potentially blocking seats for those who wish to eat, but maybe I'm just overthinking it. While the train is entirely high floor, it does carry one mobility carriage. This is where you will find the accessible toilet, as well as the ramps to allow entry into the carriage. It also features a few dedicated children's compartments, second class was really busy, so I didn't get a shot of the compartments, but they are also available in addition to the open saloon style seating. Right, back to my seat, because it's time to enjoy the beautiful mountains, which seems like a great time to do a little scenery montage. And with the last bit of daylight almost gone, we are now coming up on our stop in Vrutky. And this station is particularly interesting because it's of course home to the factory of Vrutky, who built this first class carriage right here in this town. I was filming the wrong side of the approach to the station, but on the other side it is possible to get a quick look at their factory. Slovakia has a long history of manufacturing rolling stock. However, when it comes to complete trains, in recent years it's mostly been with the help from foreign manufacturers. But the factory here in Vrutky is the only one to have designed a complete train from the ground up since the split of Czechoslovakia, which you can learn more about in a recent video of mine. We depart Vrutky running about 40 minutes late due to track works in the previous section from Poprad. As we now run into darkness, there isn't that much left for me to show you. We make a few more station stops while our driver tries to make up a bit more of the delay. But eventually we pull into our penultimate stop, Bratislava Vinohrady, and it's time to sum up my thoughts on this journey. I really like these carriages. They ride super smoothly on the track, and I find the seats to be very comfortable, along with the interior just looking very stylish. And the tickets are pretty affordable too, with a one-way from Kosice to Bratislava in first class costing as little as 26 euros. However, since making this video, these carriages, according to the great WagonWeb website, has been redeployed to other routes, including the Metropolitan and Veleski Express trains from Prague to Budapest and Pukov respectively. We arrive at Bratislava's main station with a final delay of about 20 minutes, after what has been a pretty good journey on board the Slovak railways. Delays happen, and while the communication about the delay could have been better, I'm more sad that the Slovak Railways only ever ordered 7 of these carriages. Thank you so much for joining me on this trip. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, as I try to post a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Blue Sky at intercitysimon.com. I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.